My name is Ben Abbott. Been making blades since I was about 13 years old. I was born in Worcester, England. When I saw all the cool armor and weapons and stuff, just decided to start making it for myself.
My name's Tom McGinnis. I'm 73 years old and love knife making. I made my first knife in 1958. I'm an old duck, but I'm gonna hang tough.
Ben, Tom, congratulations. You've made it to the Forged in Fire final. And now we're sending you back to your home forges to recreate an iconic weapon from history. The Khanda.
Oh.
The Khanda is a sword that gained popularity in medieval India during the Gupta period between 320 and 550 AD. The word Khanda is derived from the Sanskrit word khan, meaning to break, divide, cut, or destroy. Its wide, thick, straight blade was not only used for thrusting, but also as a hacking weapon. When a Rajput warrior was surrounded by the enemy, he would pull out the Khanda and fight to the end while swinging the blade with both hands, taking down as many enemies as he could in an honorable last stand. It has to be an authentic, working replica of that deadly weapon.
The mystery weapon's a Khanda. I think it's a real doable blade. I believe I can produce one.
Bladesmiths, good luck.
So it's day one. My strategy going into building this blade is that I'm gonna make a couple of test blades. The most crucial part of this build is whatever I have to do to get it through the testing. I can make the prettiest thing in the world. If it snaps in two, I'm gonna lose. I'm gonna quench the sword. The quench went really well. Very excited about that. Now I have to dive into the handle. The handle is nothing like I've ever seen before. My last 10 hours working on this sword, gotta just finish grinding the blade. I wrap the handle in leather. It'll bulk out the handle and make it more comfortable so that it really kind of holds your hand snugly and feels really good. Holy cow. What a long journey.
It feels good to be back home where I have my own equipment. Today, I'm gonna try and get the shapes of the guard and get the blade ground. The blade we had to make is designed for fighting, double-handed, and it had a big D-guard on it, and I'd never done that. It's quite an awesome blade. I've got the blade ground, seems to be going real good, and I'm gonna try and get the handle all put together. I'm gonna ask God to help me with this one. God answered my prayer. It's pretty straight if it'll just cool down. And I know this blade's gonna cut. It's ready for the judges. Ben is gonna contend with a tough old dog.
Tom, Ben, welcome back to the Forge. We will now be putting each of your weapons through 3 tests. Doug?
Bladesmiths, this is the kill test. To test the lethality and function of your weapon, I will take your weapon and deliver 3 vertical chops and then a slice. Ben, you're up. You ready?
Yes, sir.
Let's do this.
I'm a little bit nervous. There's a lot of bones in there, but this sword is made to cut, so let's see it cut.
Well, Ben, the damage that your blade did cut about 6 inches deep into both shoulders and right through the spine. On the horizontal slice, it pretty much cut all the way through. It's got a good feel. This, sir, will kill.
Thank you.
Tom, it's your turn. You ready?
I'm ready. I don't like losing at all. I like to win. In the kill test, I think it's doable. I really do.
Tom, you definitely cut in about 6 inches deep on the shoulders and about 8 inches into the spinal column. Cut halfway through into the carcass. Also feels good in balance with a downward vertical slice. there is a slight bend that's happening to your blade, but it will kill. Bladesmiths, this is the sharpness test. I will slash across these bungee cords. If your blade is sharp, it should cut all the way through. If not, it may just push it aside or bounce off. Ben, you're up. Are you ready?
Sure. At this point, I'm nervous. I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna cut through all of them or if I'm gonna bounce off. I had no idea.
Well, Ben, your sword started to cut a little bit, but it did not cut through. It feels good on the slice. The handle is very comfortable in the hand. But once again, it didn't cut through. So it brings into question the sharpness. Tom, it's your turn. You ready?
I'm ready.
Let's do this.
I really feel comfortable going into the test, and I know this blade's gonna cut. I'm ready. Ooh.
Well, Tom, it did cut a little bit into the bungee cord. But then, as you can see, that transference of energy went all the way back to the blade. It wasn't sharp enough to cut through, and it bent your blade. Which brings into question the heat treatment you did on your blade.
Cut around corners now.
It will cut around corners this time, right? But in this particular case, it will not cut, sir.
When you don't have your hardening and tempering right on a blade, you don't have anything.
Gentlemen, both of your weapons failed in the sharpness test. Historically in battle, blades bend. Tom, we'd like to give you the opportunity to straighten your blade so that you can continue with this fight. However, we will be taking that bend into consideration when it comes to final judging.
I understand. Should have left it thicker, but I'm not a quitter. I'm gonna fight to the end.
Okay, Tom, you've straightened your blade. We can continue with testing. Dave.
Gentlemen, this is the strength test. I'm gonna take 5 chops into these copper pipes and see how far through we can split. Ben, are you ready?
Not at all. Yes. The last thing I would bring to a plumbing job is a sword. So I'm just nervous that the blade will break, just snap in two.
Well, Ben, it's still one piece, but barely. And the dimensions of your guard here on my hand are perfect. Your blade, it's held up beautifully. Nicely done.
Thank you.
So, Tom, your turn.
Okay.
All right.
I'm really nervous about the pipe cut. I should have spent more time on my blade, because that's what counts in the end.
Now, Tom, we do have that bend in your blade, and we know that there's at least a soft section in there.
Yeah.
So as I'm cutting, if I feel that there's a point where it's unsafe, I'm just gonna stop, all right?
Okay.
So, Tom, what happened is we lost a piece of the guard right there.
Yeah.
With the broken guard and the bend earlier, I feel it's unsafe to continue.
All right, thank you, Tom.
I'm disappointed. I know I could do better, but that's what happens when you don't use your time right.
Gentlemen, in just 5 days, you've both done an amazing amount of work on your Khandas. But in this arena, there can only be one Forged in Fire champion. Ben, you are the Forged in Fire champion. Tom, unfortunately, your weapon did not make the cut.
Tom, as I said before, your attention to detail is spot on. It's just that heat treat problem with that blade bending the way it did. Well, that's why we have to let you go.
Tom, please surrender your weapon.
Well, I got to meet some real nice craftsmen, and I learned. Don't let your age slow you down. You don't know how long you got.
Ben, congratulations. You are the Forest and Fire champion and will be receiving a check for $10,000. Good job.
Thank you.
Most people get guard sizes all wrong, and the Khanda has a deceptively small guard. You just hit it out of the park.
Thank you. It feels amazing to be the Forge and Fire champion. It's a wonderful validation of a long time of knife making, and I made new friends. I made 10 grand. What more could you ask for?